Welcome to Minute Mayor Diplomacy. This is Zain Khan. Today we have a very special guest on our show to talk about her life and also her politics. She is a British community leader and also a politician, Tafheen Sharif, who is considered the first Muslim ethnic minority mayor of Tameside. She's also the councillor of Mosley. Welcome to our show, Tafheen Sharif. This is Zain Khan. It is such a pleasure having you, councillor.
Thank you, Brother Zain. Thank you. It's a pleasure and I'm delighted to be with yourself today.
I want to get to the first question. I want to know a little bit about your childhood, where you started. Tell us some more about where you went to school and college.
Interesting question. So I was born and bred in the UK to my parents who were actually born in Kashmir, in the Azad Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir. And my grandmother lived with us as well. So I was third generation here in the UK. I was born in an area called Luton in Bedfordshire, and close to London, 20 minutes from London. And I went to the local schools and to the local high school and the local sixth form college, Luton Sixth Form College. I went off to university in London, to one of the universities in London, and I studied law. So law became my passion, and I worked in a law firm for many years. I trained in law, but on the side, I was always very passionate about our community, and not just our community, but the communities of Great Britain. And I really wanted to make a difference. So from quite a young age, I was always in charity work, always doing charitable work. I became the country's youngest governor when I was 17. I went to my local school where I studied, primary school, where I studied at the age of 7 or 8. I went back a few years later and I became the governor there, a school governor. And a school governor is someone who oversees the school, looks at their budget, makes decisions about the staffing, for example, about the resources, about the pupils, and about the curriculum. So it's a very strategic role. And I started that quite young. And on the side of working, also, I worked part-time in a bank. So I did finance and banking part-time to see me through university and university fees. And then, like I said, I transpired onto law. But I didn't feel like I was doing enough for society as a whole. I got involved in insolvency law in the legal field, but I didn't feel like I was touching communities. So I decided to get involved in politics, which has been a tremendous journey.
I want to ask you about your politics. Why did you get into the political career? And obviously, what were your dreams while entering into politics?
So it was, I'm very much a people's person, very passionate about our communities, about issues affecting our communities. For example, employment, our young people, women's rights. There's so many aspects, you know, a good education, a housing supply, all the aspects I was passionate about, and I'm still passionate about and concerned about, is what took me to my political career. So I wanted to make a difference, make people's lives better, make society a better place for all. And for those reasons, I entered the political arena. At the time, I knew nobody in politics personally. I had no family members, no friends. I didn't know anybody in my area that was in politics personally. So it was a very much a new field, a very daunting field. I was quite young at the time, quite a daunting field. And I got involved and I put myself forward for the area I was born in. It's an area called Dallow in Luton. So I put myself forward. Not everyone was happy, particularly the people already in those positions of responsibility, I call it, in those seats. But I went for it because I felt I had a good skill set to offer the people at the time. And I did tremendous. I was not only selected by my political party, the Labour Party, but I was elected. First time in politics, but elected straight away with a good majority in the ward of Dallow. I had a lot of setback from particular people at the time, but I persevered and I went on to do good things and great things. Within a year of office as a councillor, I was identified quite quickly, very blessed. I became the cabinet member, executive member for community safety. At the time, we had a lot of issues that needed challenging and a lot of issues, serious issues that needed handling. So as a cabinet member, I got involved in the far right in terms of finding resolutions and dealing with, we had a lot of, here in the UK, we have a group called the English Defence League. So a far right extremist group, and we had a lot of problems with that. And I had to deal with that. At the time, when I was the cabinet member, we also had riots across the country from young people. You may recall this in your country, but we had them across the UK in 2011. And I got obviously very involved and, was very involved with the police, having lots of meetings and finding solutions. So those were all opportunities that came to me from God for me to make a difference. And because of that, I was awarded very early on as well in my political career. I was awarded the Young Councillor of the Year by the prestigious Local Government Innovative Unit. It's a part of the government. And then a few years on, with policing and community safety being my field in the politics world, I became the country's first Muslim Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner. And this involved, alhamdulillah, this involved a lot of strategic work with the police on various issues of crime across the topic. And that was for a very large authority. It was Bedfordshire, so it was many, many towns and villages. And this was a great opportunity for me also to develop my skills, to provide my experience and expertise in the area. Carried that on for a while, and then I went on to, then I got married, as we do. It comes to a point of life where you need to complete half your deen, and I got married, and I got to my husband, who's from the other side of the country in Manchester. So we decided that I would move, and I moved. But I obviously finished my term of office as a councillor. I did my term of office, completed. Then I moved. And this was after my marriage, so I actually stayed on with my parents and lived with my parents for another year or so after I got married, so I can complete my political career in that area. I then moved up and I got involved in the local politics of Tameside very, very quickly. And I put myself forward for one of the seats in Mosley. Mosley is, subhanAllah, 99.9% from the white community, from the English community. And it was a real honor for me to be able to move across from Luton, which has a very large Pakistani population, actually, very ethnically diverse, to quite a white area. And I saw my struggles. I did see my struggles because people were like, who are you? Where are you from? You've just come from London, kind of attitude. But, I knew I had to build the trust, build the relationship, build the love, and build the understanding. And so I moved across, and I was very, very lucky to be elected. I will say I was very lucky because no one knew me. I came with a good track record. Of course I did. On paper, I came with a very good track record, but personally, nobody knew me. So I was very lucky. I won by 19 votes. So it was a very close election. There was 13 candidates in Mosley. I won by 19 votes. And then I spent the next 4 years really developing the trust, working very hard, persevering, being resilient for my community, and really standing up for my community. And I was selected by my colleagues as the mayor of Tameside, and like as you very kindly introduced me, I'm Tameside's first person of color, first ethnic minority mayor, first Muslim mayor, which is an absolute honor. And can I just say, obviously with hard work, you see the results. So I'm very well respected in Mosley. And I'll start with Mosley first. Very well respected in Mosley. I get a lot of casework, but for me, that's individuals that need my help. So I try and help wherever I can in my capacity as a councillor. Yes, I won by 19 votes my first election. By my next election, I won by thousands. And that, for me, speaks volumes in terms of the work I put in. and the trust I built between the people. As I say, the mayor, you know, something I could not say no to. I did give it a good think. I've got young children as well, a young family. So, you know, as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, you have to balance. You know, as a woman, you have to balance a lot. We have a lot on our plate. So I didn't take the decision lightly, but I'm so glad I did, because it has been a wonderful year.
You just mentioned that you represent the Labour Party. What is it in their manifesto that you really agree with or you can relate with?
So Labour has always stood up for the underprivileged, the ones that are not represented. They've always stood up for justice, for peace, and those values are very, very close to my heart. And this is Labour Party as a whole, not one individual. It's the whole party. So for me, this is why I stood for this party, and I have, you know, been with the party for many years. It's the party of the underdogs. You know, people have equality. No matter who you are, where you're from, there is equality within the party. So those values are very close to my heart. As the mayor, I am not political. So yes, I am from a particular party and I'm a councillor from a particular party. But when you are the mayor, you are apolitical. So I don't associate myself with any party, certainly when I am in office. And this is because as the mayor, you are the first citizen of the borough. And it doesn't matter who you speak to, everyone is equal, which party they come from, what their affiliations are. Everyone is equal. It's like I'm the king's I am the king's representative. So I'm the representative of the monarchy, of the royal family. So for that reason, I, you know, do not get involved in the politics.
Explain to us the struggles of minority communities in the UK.
Yes, I'm Tameside's first ethnic minority mayor. There are struggles, I must admit. There still is racism. It still is an issue. It definitely is an issue. I've been subject to racism. You know, we still have so much more to do to have equality across the board. Yes, we are getting better. Yes, opportunities are coming for many, but still you'll find that, you know, more ethnic minorities, for example, are in prison, less are in top jobs, or in the corporate field. You know, the education is lower for Pakistani people, for example. So there's still a lot of work to be done to bring equality for all in the UK as well. So there are a lot of struggles. Obviously, I wear my hijab, for example. You know, this is my honor. This is who I am, first and foremost. You know, there are incidents where I have been subject to Islamophobia, for example. So the issue is there are people or groups that cause division between communities. But as the mayor of Tameside, especially being the first Muslim, first ethnic person, I am trying my utter best to bring our communities closer together, to build the understanding first, exposure. We don't need to be stuck in our homes. We need to be out there taking the top jobs, you know, fulfilling our careers. And you are finding that in my generation now, you are finding a lot of young people in various professions, doctors, solicitors, you know, all engineering, architecture. Our people, Pakistani people, Muslims are in every field, but they would have all been subjected to some sort of difficulty, more so than the white man. And the reason I say that is, as a Mosley council, for example, as a mayor, I have to work extra hard to prove myself because I am a person of color, for example, or I am a woman, or I am a Muslim. I have to work extra hard, and I don't get away with half as much as what somebody else may do who has that privilege of being white, for example, or being English. So they do exist, and we've got far more work to do to get absolute equality for all in our kingdom.
In your politics, what are you contributing for the well-being of minorities? What work have you done? What projects are you looking after?
Yes, so very recently, in fact, in Islamophobia Awareness Month, for example, I'll start off with that, is we did a workshop. So I held the workshop myself with the help of another councillor and an activist. And we held this Islamophobia workshop. We had members of all communities attend, including other councillors, attend the workshop and get involved. And raise awareness on what actually Islamophobia is, because sometimes what happens is certain people are subjected to incidents of hate and they don't report it. So it's very, very underreported. So the police and the authorities and the council and the government think it's not a problem because our people don't report. And they may not report because of a language barrier, for example. They may not report because they believe nothing will happen to it. So it's really important that incidents are reported. So I held a session and did some work on this to increase the awareness, to increase the reporting, to ensure that the subject is then tackled. Because if it's not acknowledged, it will never tackle. As a mayor also, and as a councillor also, I'm always standing up for our underprivileged and for our communities, ensuring that certain events are held. I myself as mayor also have various charities that I support, and one of the charities I support is called West African Development. So it's not for the people of Africa, it's for the people of Tameside, but it's for the ethnic minority communities of Tameside. So I'm fundraising for them in my mayoral year, and also giving them exposure. Obviously I have a lot of press interest, so really showcasing my charities and doing lots of events. I've done fashion shows, I've done a ball, I've done a business networking event. I've done, I'm going to do a culture day, cycling event for children and families. I've done lots of events which helps raise funds for my charities, for our communities in Tameside, but also gives our families and our people and residents of Tameside an opportunity to go and do something and enjoy an event. So I've been doing that. Also, as a mayor, it's because being the first citizen, it's really important that I do bring people closer together. So I'm doing a lot of work around showcasing our culture, whether it is through, like I say, a fashion show, which is very fun, but showcasing our deen, our our libas, our food, showcasing that, opening the doors and showing how beautiful we are as a community, but also showcasing our Moroccan community, our Turkish community, our Irish community, our African community, all the communities that we have in Tameside. I'm trying to showcase that and bring the love and understanding, because if you don't show and raise awareness, you won't build understanding, and if you don't build understanding, you won't build love. So that's how I've been doing it. I haven't used any technical terms like cohesion, social integration, none of that. It's all just very basic terminology, because that's what I believe it is. We're all human, we're all one, and we should all have the same opportunities as we do, not based on our color or our religion or the way we look or the way we dress.
What are your future goals as a community leader, as a politician? What are your future goals? Are you going to stand up as an MP anytime soon?
No, thank you. Alhamdulillah, for me, it's whatever is paved out, whatever Allah wills. I am very, I'm very ambitious, not for myself, but for the world, the community. So whatever way I can contribute, I certainly will. And if opportunities come my way, I will give it a good thought. So, whatever Allah wills, I don't sit and plan what I'm going to do next, etc. If they come my way, I will do my best. Whether it's being, a mother, I will do my best. Whether it's being a daughter, I'll do my best. Whether it's being an employee, a lawyer, a politician or a mayor, whatever it is, I will do my best and really try and make a difference now, not future, not worry about the past, but now. What can I do now? And I would say to, our young women, our women across the world, UK, Pakistan, wherever you may be, my message is to try and do something for yourself. So before I got involved in politics, I ensured I had a career. I ensured I had an education. I worked very hard. And I've got my qualifications. I also ensured I had things on my CV. I had I had built a skill set. So, the governing, this is all voluntary. I still do a lot of volunteering. I'm a trustee of a charity. I sit in court as a magistrate, a justice of peace. So I do that as well. So, I'm an ambassador for many organizations. So I do a lot, but who am I doing it for? I'm doing it for the community, but I'm also doing it for myself because it keeps me happy. Helping others keeps me happy. And you can do it as, I've got young children. I've got young children, and you can manage your time. You can manage it. And you can manage both responsibilities, and you can do it well. You just need to come out of your mindset and be very positive and be determined and work hard.
I want to get to the last question. You're ethnically from Pakistan. Your family was from Pakistan. How can Pakistan and UK improve their already great ties, in your opinion?
Yes, so my origin is from Kashmir. So in Jammu Kashmir, Azad Kashmir. And I visited Pakistan a very, very long time ago, only the once. So I think a visit is due. I went as a child, so I would love to come back and look at the progress, meet the beautiful people. It would be an absolute honor for me to do that. It's really important that it's both ways, that Pakistan supports us here and we support you there. It's very important because we are living, I would say quite, in some cases, different lives in different communities, in a different mahal, as they say, a different atmosphere. And there's so much that we can do for our people, and there's so much the people can do for us. So it's about supporting one another, no matter where you are. The world of social media and the internet, it's made it a much, much smaller world. I mean, who would have imagined an interview from Pakistan? Who wouldn't have imagined this kind of concept? But here it is, and it's made the world a much smaller place. But what I would add is, with the social media and everything, let's support each other through kindness, positivity. Do your bit and let others do their bit. That's what I would say to our communities. Let everyone do their bit. There's space for everyone. There is space for everyone. I go to schools and I say to young people, you could be a councillor. You could one day be the mayor of Tameside. Aim high, dream high. And that's on a personal level, and obviously on a political field. I think, if we did like exchange visits, and if it was possible, things like that, so we can see what is happening in Pakistan. Obviously, I go by with what I see in the news. You go by with what you see in social media news, and the rest of it. But I think there needs to be stronger ties. There are good ties because a lot of people have emigrated from Pakistan to the UK. There's quite a big population here actually, and Kashmiris and Pakistanis. I think we can, from a political level as well, do so much more for Pakistan. If politically people are willing to, the political system is willing to accept that. Finally, I would also add that it's really important that we continue to just provide that love and support to one another. It's really important. So I can definitely say that's the biggest the biggest thing we can do.
Thank you so much, Councillor Tafheen Sharif, for being on Minute Mayor Diplomacy. It was such a pleasure having you.
It's a real pleasure. Very, very, very good to speak to you. Thank you.
This was Tafheen Sharif, the mayor of Tameside and also the councillor of Mausley. We were talking about her life, her political career, and also the future of her politics. Until the next episode of Minute Mayor Diplomacy, this is Zain Khan. Take care. Goodbye.